The beverage market is so difficult. There's over 900 energy drinks. There's so many drinks you don't even realize that come and go. But even the big household ones have to raise money over and over. Look at Liquid Death Water. It's one of the fastest growing beverages of all time.
Yeah.
It had to raise like 7 rounds of funding. Why? Because it's expensive to do beverages. Shipping is expensive. Storing, think about it, you got 1 million drinks, where are you going to store them?
Yeah.
You got to pay a storing fee. You got to have people put them out and ship them. You got to put them on trucks and ship them. There's so many people that have to get paid in the beverage from before, during, and after. Meaning before, the sales team.
Yeah.
Conventions, travel, road shows, going to meet with all the retailers, etc. The distributors, so if you have Budweiser, Coors, Miller, Pepsi, Southern Wine Spirits, there's a lot of distributors. You got to pay all them, pay their guys. You get into the location, you got to pay for marketing and slotting fees and all the things that happen in the location. Make sure getting into a store once is easy. Selling your drinks out of the store. Oof.
Awesome. Well, we're live. How you doing, Dan?
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Let's go. How long are you in Miami?
The whole week for once.
Okay, let's go. What are you guys doing in Miami this week?
During 6 events in 3 days, which I don't recommend. Yeah, I was going to say, so like my thumbs are purple, just texting hundreds of people per day.
I got you. It's far in my mind right now. Let's start with, so what all events you done, man?
So I have the 100 million mastermind experience. Yes. $100,000 per person, starting to at team. So daytime, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the first where all the mastermind members meet up. From the 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., we're doing elevator night. It's the 56th time offering elevator night.
Yeah.
Solely free. So you have a $100,000 event, $0 event for free. Yeah. No tickets, no sponsor, no sale at stage. So we'll have a few hundred people show up to that. And then right after that, Aspire Tour is doing like an influencer events, the affiliate event afterwards, like at a mansion not too far away. Wednesday is the Aspire Tour, the large format event. That'll be almost 3,000 people. A-Rod, Gary B, Cody Sanchez, yeah, big one.
Kim Perrell as well.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And then that night is Dave Meltzer. He has like his VIP dinner that he does on the Aspire Tour. He goes to each city, goes to VIP in it. Fast forward to Thursday, 100 million mastermind experience again. That would be at Garrett White's mansion. So that would just be 100 million mastermind members. We do speakers, breakout sessions, etc. And then that night, there's 125. But yeah, but we're not leading the dot because to the humans. And so we'll finish off there. So yeah, 6 events, 3 days. And then we'll just it. Sorry, I'll let you.
Who's the biggest name coming to all these events?
Well, that part's a secret. But to me, obviously for Aspire, so those are
huge names there.
For elevator night, if the timing works out, Gary Brenka's in the lane and comes straight to speed. Wow. Which is cool because he's obviously at the UFC right now. Because teleport in time. But yeah, that'd be great to have it for a free event to have someone like charges, $100 plus to speak.
Yeah.
There's there's another speaker there also charging $100K to speak. He's speaking. They have 30 people in the panels of like 25K, 50K type speakers and have all of them in one night. Yeah, for free. And so it's just cool to bring people together about his events.
For all of these events, is the cutoff pretty much all done, like in regard to like registration to RSVPs?
Well, Elevator Night, we're just looking at people for the venue, and they can go to elevatornight.com or register for free. And then Aspire Tour was a free code from my agency. It's called Elevator. So if you go to aspiretour.com, then we code Elevator. The secret is you can do that every city. Yeah, but we did 12 a year. That would give you a free comp code for the summer tickets.
Wow.
We have 3,000 people that are paid, but then I always give out a couple hundred for the ticket.
Yeah, super sick. And so I was doing a little research on the events that you put together, and this was initially inspired at a young age. It seems like you kind of curated this idea of, instead of you going to networking events, creating networking events so you could get more valuable interaction, it seems like.
It's a different format. So if you go to an event and you're not an extrovert, it's hard to work the room.
Yeah.
Right. People come up to me, to some of them I know me, so that I can, as an introvert, I can interact with people that come up to me, but I would never walk up to you in a party.
Yeah.
I would never walk up to you in a business event unless there was what's called a forced interaction, meaning Roger said meet you, Drew said meet you, someone says to meet you, then I would talk to you as much as you want. Introverts can talk a lot when spoken to.
Yeah.
But I know myself, and so most of the time I'm not going to walk up to you. So instead, I throw an event, I'll talk to anybody by event, right?
Yeah.
I'm the host.
Yeah.
And so I throw a lot of events so people come to me. And anyone that's listening can do this. You can have a meetup with your friends if you like cars, real estate, makeup, fashion, watches, whatever. Throw a meetup or throw a basketball game or a pickleball game or a running club. There's people that come to you and edify you.
And kind of ties in directly to one of you that has a hedgers. You're writing your next book. I'm not picking you.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I've that. So I was like, so it sounds like you're writing another book in regard to events, planning events, and how to do it very cost effectively.
Yeah. So the first book was how to set up your business for $100,000.
Yeah.
How to set up your personal brand for $100,000. The third and final book is how to set up your events for $100,000. And I walk through exactly how to throw an event for free or cheap and still have that look and feel of, the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And then also like how to leverage, how to get mansions for free or cool venues for free or cool locations for free to host your events. How to get sponsors, how to get catering, how to get alcohol, how to get drinks, water, snacks, a lot of things for trade or for free.
Yeah. Well, when did you kind of realize that everybody's got this correlation of kind of the Gary Vee book of the jab, 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 right? When did you realize that? I know that you just overgive value.
So I realized that by default, I will win if I do it for a lot of people. And if I do it every day, the math will add up with my favor. And so if I introduce 10 people a day to do deals, like, hey, Drew, you should meet him. And then they go off and do something together. I may never get something from that, but I planted the seed in both their minds. Hey, bro, you should eat this lady. She did amazing. She does this and this. I may never get something. But if you just do the math of me doing that 5, 10, 15 times a day, and I've done that for 15, 20 years, you can imagine that the math that adds up. And some of them will reciprocate. Some of them will actually remember. Some of them will be grateful. Some of them will do deals with me or invite me to things or give me commission or something will happen sometimes. And the other time, nothing will happen, but at least I created friction or I created action or I created excitement or I created deals or I created nothing. Me trying and spending time to introduce people in person or on a text, it causes a lot of things that will ultimately lead back to me.
And it's incredible to think that way because I think a lot of people, from my experience and understanding, even just as a younger entrepreneur, sometimes you try to hold on to the value, you try to monetize too quickly or something like that. You end up not realizing the deals that you lose and the money that you lose or you get things.
So there's some things that you should do with, for sure for a monetary situation or for sure for a monetary deal, you should ask for a commission or take a commission. You got to ask for it in advance. It's very important. Let's say I introduce you to someone who wants to buy $2 million of your tank top, right? And you make tank tops. That is a financial transaction that person's going to buy $2 million of your tank tops for their stores or for their gyms. There's nothing wrong with me asking for 2%, 5%, 10%, or whatever amount it is for that deal. I can't ask for 20, 30%. I can ask for a nominal amount of that. And by the way, getting 3 or 4% or 5% of that would be $100,000. That's great. And what if he reorders again next year? Woohoo! Yeah. It's worth it for me to ask for permission. In that, I have to ask you in advance. If I just say, hey, meet this guy, blah, 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 he works at a bunch of gyms, and then 5 months later he buys $2 million of the product, I don't deserve a commission. That's a very different thing, right? We were just meeting socially, I introduced you guys, and a lot of times people get resentment from that. Of like, oh, I introduced you guys, you should put me out. And maybe you can give me something nice as a present, but you don't actually owe me like 5% commission because we never talked about it. Yeah. We didn't have a deal. And even if you gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, sometimes people still are resentful because they think there should be a bigger number. But you never had an agreement, so it's not really fair. However, if I said to you before I introduced you, hey bro, my friend has 65 gyms. If I can get him to buy some of your tank tops, will you give me 5%? Your eyes will light up like, of course, right? In a heartbeat, because you have no cost of acquisition. Meaning, I am leading you to a free deal. If it works out, you're going to get a $2 million order, which changes your whole company. Yeah. And so you would have given me more than 5% I asked for it, but that's a very fair number. Compared to introduce you guys, 5 months later, they buy $2 million of photos. That's not the same thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. I feel like from the podcast that I did watch, everybody, there's a lot of similarity, and which is obviously you're the same person in every podcast. So I'm trying to develop that uniqueness. Shout out to Roger for helping me develop some uniqueness with obviously the event you have going on this week. But one thing I always go back to is the youngest public company founder. Like what was
it's about to be the 20-year anniversary in 2 weeks from now. Sounds crazy to say out loud. 20 years ago, April 1st, 2005.
And what were you 17?
I was 23. I started the company at 17. Yeah. I went public when I was 23.
Let's kind of proceed all of that. What was growing up for you like? Were you growing up in an entrepreneurial household?
Uh, at 4 years old, 8 years old, I was selling baseball cards with swapping. Selling the Dlabik, Dlabik, yeah, selling baseball cards. Uh, my parents got divorced when I was 8. My mom and I moved to San Diego, and we were living inside of like a Gangish Euro base, one bedroom. And I was sleeping floor with the couch. And so we didn't have money. And then at school, I would sell candy on my backpack. My mom started becoming my backer. She gave me $13 to buy the cereal boxes. I would sell cereal boxes, give her $15 back. And I was just being a young hustler. Yeah. So when I got to high school, I started working 3 jobs simultaneously. I was selling the snacks at the stadium. Peanuts, Cracker Jacks here. Yeah. I was walking up and down selling peanuts, Cracker Jacks, and lemonade and pizza. Working at Ruby's Diner with a sailor's cap on. When they're working for a stockbroker after disabled. And so I was working 3 jobs to save my money because how else was I going to go to college? Yeah. I didn't even know scholarships existed back then. Wasn't like social media didn't exist. There was no smartphones. So I'm old when I say this, but and so I stayed up 43,000 during those 3 years. So making, 12, 15 grand a year. I had to overhead, so the kid. And then, 17 and a half, because I decided to start the Foley brand. Called Who's Your Daddy? Who's had a slow, Who's Your Daddy? And so that's where it all happened. I didn't have money. I had to survive. I had to make money. I had to save things up. And so within our first convention, we wrote $1 million in orders. And by 19, we did 9.59 and sevens. And so that's how it all started. That's what led to our public 22.
That's insane. And then you transition from the clothing into energy drinks. And I didn't realize I got connected with a gentleman I actually had on the podcast. I think he had a big exit, like my favorite exit from, he was part of Vita Coco. And I was like, I would make a sales energy drink. And he's like, we did not know how much, like there's like, it looks like there's a bunch of profit margin there. It's like getting it started. He's like, dude, it costs a stupid amount of money for the manufacturing, the distribution, everything on the outside. It looks super sexy. But once you get on the inside of everything, you realize there's a lot of work in it. So what are your thoughts on kind of like the Miami culture, social media making things look super sexy and people not appreciating or truly doing the research to realize there's a lot of work that goes into all the sexiness?
People don't realize the difference between gross sales and net profit. 2 very, very different things. Someone could say I'm doing $100 million in sales and be in debt.
Yeah.
Literally. Because when things are going well and they're making, let's call it 7 to 19% range on their net profit, sounds cool. And so you got to pay for your everything for next year. Your offices, your manufacturing, your shipping, your marketing, your sales team, your conventions, your travel, all the things that go along, taxes, all the things that come along with making that 7 to 19%. You got to spend so much money for the next year because you got to scale. You want to go from 100 million to 140 or whatever the next jump is. And so you see things online or you see a beverage company doing $20 million in sales. Well, they're broke. Yeah. You do $20 million in sales of beverages, you are not just broke. You wish you were broke because you're in debt. Yeah. Because every single chain store you sell to wants you to pay a marketing fee, a slotting fee. You know how much it is to ship a 26-pound case of energy drinks? A 24-pack is 16 ounces plus the box. So it's 26.4 pounds to ship. Think about how much that costs. You want to ship it overnight? It must be insane. Because that'll be 4 times what you're charging for it, 5 times what you're charging for it. Even on the ground shipping, it's still going to be more than like a whole damn case costs. Yeah. And so the beverage market is so difficult. There's over 900 energy drinks. There's so many drinks you don't even realize that come and go. But even the big household ones have to raise money over and over. Look at Liquid Death Water. It's one of the fastest growing beverages of all time. Yeah. It had to raise like 7 rounds of funding. Why? Because it's expensive to do beverages. Shipping is expensive. Storing, think about it, you got 1 million drinks. Where are you going to store that? Yeah. You got to pay a storing fee. You got to have people put them out and ship them. You got to put them on trucks and ship them. There's so many people that have to get paid in the beverage from before, during, and after. Meaning before, the sales team. Yeah. Conventions, travel, road shows, going to meet with all the retailers, etc. The distributors. So if you have Budweiser, Coors, Miller, Pepsi, Southern Wine Spirits, there's a lot of distributors. You got to pay all them, pay their guys. You get into the location, you got to pay for marketing and slotting fees and all the things that happen in the location. Make sure getting into a store once is easy. Selling your drinks out of the store, that is difficult. And then doing it on a consistent basis. Your drink has to actually be good on a consistent basis. Yep. And a good price point. And then the after fact is, what do you do to get reorders? Like, when you walk into a store, how many smoothies are there? How many protein shakes are there? How many energy drinks are there? When you open that cooler, I got to stay in your mind. I need top of mind awareness in perpetuity, so that you always pick my drink over Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, all your different options. Like, there's so many options for water, for energy drinks. Like, I could go on and on.
So if somebody brings you like a beverage opportunity like that.
I raise money for some beverage companies, right? I raised $56 million in the last 3 years for food and beverage brands. I do small rounds, $36 million for food and beverage brands that already have success.
Yeah.
I raise money for BLK water. And they're in 29,000 stores already. I'll raise money for BLK because that's how black blood.
Yeah. I see.
And it has fulvic acid, so it has this something that stands out. We raise money for Rise Coffee. Well, they're already in 31,000 stores. They already had $18 million in sales. Okay, I'll raise money for that because I know it works. I know it converts. It's the number 2 or number 3 in most stores. Oh, this is Starbucks is number 1. And so when a beverage has success already, I'm down. I'm into being a part of it because it's already proven that it stands out. However, if you came to me with a new beverage company, nothing you could say we're changing our minds. Even if you could say, hey, bro, I'll do everything. I'll put up the first ship in like $1 million, $2 million.
Yeah.
Lunch money to get started.
Yeah.
It's lunch money. And I'm not trying to disregard that amount of money. It's the fact of the market that you're going into.
Yeah, it's saturated.
It's insane how much you have to spend to go battle with companies. I'll give you an example. I had my drink. We were in 55,000 stores. I had 43 distributors. This is 2005, 2009. And I drove and flew all over the country to meet with the 43 distributors over and over and over to keep them excited because 21 of my distributors were Budweiser. So what do they care about selling? Budweiser. Why do they care about selling this little kid's drink? I'm 25 years old, 24 years old. The hell do they care about me? I had to be there with the distributors all the time, nonstop, all over the country to make them still want to sell my drink when all they got to do is sell Budweiser and make money.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, with every freaking store, 55,000 stores, and I was going to go to all 55,000 if that were chains, like the parent.
Yeah.
And then I have to explain to them why should they feature me on the shelf. There's a big thing. It's called eye level is buy level. If I took a $20 bill and wrapped it around a $2 drink and I put it on the bottom shelf, you wouldn't pay $2 for the $20 bill. You know what? Because you can't see it.
Yeah.
And so if your drinks are not above the waist, you have no chance. Like literally no chance. You cannot sell through unless somebody's hunting for you, right? Someone went there to buy yours, asked around, tried to find it on the bottom shelf. You have no chance. But to be above the waist in a shelf in a cooler, Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, all of them paid for that. And so how dare you think you're going to get on that shelf for more than a week before the Red Bull rep or the Monster rep or the Rockstar rep comes in and literally takes your drinks off the shelf and throws it in the trash or puts it back on the floor in the back of the cooler and pays to put their stuff there.
Well,
like physically, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I used to have a website way back, energydrinkwars.com. Yeah, I got this where it says, but
yeah,
I made a website, energydrinkwars.com, and we literally just used to post pictures of each other battling and move each other's drinks on the shelf.
Yeah. Have you got to try, Pan? I haven't. I'll do it. So have you tried Andy Frisella's energy drink?
Of course.
Yeah, good.
First Form's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the only brand I would work with and talk about it, post about it, and love because they are a high-end manufacturer. Their warehouse is 250,000 square feet, and then across the street, another 250,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And they make it all in-house compared to everyone else that's, co-packed and whatever. Like their quality for First Form is on a whole different planet. So yes, that drink also, but keep in mind, you're talking about a company that does hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in sales.
Yeah.
Massive distribution, warehouse, team, 15 years of experience, 18 years of experience. Like before they started energy, that was like 12, 13, 14, 15 years into the business.
Yeah.
Right? They had a big, powerful brand behind them, and obviously having Andy Frisella and his huge name, and then Sal Frisella's brother running the operation, like that combination is why it works so well. And then it tastes good.
Yeah.
That comes back to that.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're dogs. And they've been, what event did they go to for you? Was it the 100 Lay Mastermind?
Andy spoke at a couple events. Ken has spoken last year or two because he's been hyper-focused within the game. But yeah, it came to Elevator Boot Camp, and it came to one of the other ones. It came to the Limitless Arena in Salt Lake City. That's our first deal with the closest speaker. And so there's 7,000 or 8,000 people there as well.
Yeah, that's so sick. I remember listening to the MFCEO project when it first got to the sales of 18 years old, and it's like to see
there's levels to the game, and
yeah, it's incredible. So and let's tie this all back. Well, I have one question. I won't be cool to dive into the online poker. I watched a movie years ago called Molly's Game.
Of course.
Would she ever did any of your, I guess it's online poker, but I don't know if you ever did any.
I used to play in some big games, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll see her in April.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she speaks now. Oh,
Yeah, she speaks at Aspire Tour.
so she'll be at the.
She won't be at the she'll get in Denver.
Okay.
Aspire Tour in Denver. She spoke there last year, so she's not skating again this year, but
Yeah.
I'll see her.
That's so sick.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Her movie is really, really well done.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like to the point that it's like motivational.
Yeah.
I don't know where I reached out and yeah, well, she was like, it wasn't crazy expensive, but she's like, she went to a speaking event or a podcast, and it's something I'll eventually do.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah, incredible.
She crushes on stage.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's I mean, from the movie, it depicted her as very intelligent. I would imagine to be as successful as she was. But
Well, so run an operation doing with the biggest celebrities nowadays in the world, the businessmen and billionaires, and controlling all that. Been happy to deal with the Russian mafia and all that stuff.
You got to be a genius. Yeah, that's sick. That's super sick. So the first event you got going on is going to be the 100 Million Mastermind,
Yes.
and that's tomorrow,
Yes.
and that's 2 to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
What's the like when you decide this? What's going through your mind?
Designing this weekend or how many?
No, 100 Million Mastermind. Like what origin?
So what's interesting is I was throwing free events the entire time, but Elevator Night is all I was throwing.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I kept speaking at other people's masterminds. And I was watching what did people like, what did they hate, what did they not care about, what were the things that they enjoyed about the mastermind. And so I was trying to think of what could I do to make one stand out. And so I was like, I'll just make one of the most expensive ones, but I'll make it experience. So it's called 100 Million Mastermind Experience. And I go heavy on the word experience. And so I didn't know that people were going to pay $100,000 that fast. We sold 83 spots right out the gate. Like right away. I was like, okay, we just did 8.3 million in sales on an event that doesn't exist, on a mastermind that doesn't exist. And then we did some dinners and did some last networking and some referrals, and then boom, filled up 106 spots. 100 was the maximum. We had an extra 6 in case people didn't show up. So that. So November 1st, 2019 was actually Rojas, content CEO. That was his first time working with me.
Let's go.
Sitting in the corner over there. And his very first thing that he filmed when I said, hey, can you open that door to that car over there, was Mark Wahlberg.
Wow.
And so inside, Bruce Buffer is introducing the 100 guests, name by name. Next up, like it was, I just dreamed up in my mind.
Yeah.
The mansion that Ty Lopez is in was the mansion that he rented for the very first 100 of that story.
Yeah.
The one he had. And so the concept was everyone is doing 10 million or more. We let some people end up doing a 5 to 8, 9, but 10 million or more was our minimum for a member. Or they had an exit or a bunch of real estate. So that way you knew the people in the room were the movers and shakers.
Yeah.
They then brought out a bunch of instructors that were doing either 100 million plus in sales, spent over 100 million on ads, or been seen by over 100 million people. And so our speakers and our instructors were like Marcus the Modus, the Wolf of Wall Street, Ted Danik and Warren Jolly and Josh Shaven, all the guys like Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan did a couple 100 million in cannabis. This guy did Warren spent 200 million in Facebook ads. And so you got like a Neil Patel type wizard. Then you got like Marcus the Modus, this kind of $1 billion company. Like the instructors were all different categories, but did a lot. You're at revenue war. Hey, and so the reason people to buy into a group to spend $100,000, which sounds crazy, is the other people in the room. And the reason for the $10 million minimum number is, here's my very, very short pitch. Ready? Do you think that 100 of us, plus the 22 instructors, can help you save or make 1%?
Yeah.
Right? You're doing 10 million in revenue,
Yeah.
and I help you save 1%, it's 100 grand. If I help you make 1% more, that's 100 grand. And so the concept was, as I was pitching, that's the only sentence we used, was basically explain who's in the room and that we can help you make or save at least 1%. And so everyone signed up, everyone paid in full, and everyone got the concept. And by the way, the thing that we teach you, or the thing that we help you with saving 1%, making 1%, by the way, the number 55, 10, 20%. 1% is just the concept of saving the 100K. That doesn't go away. So if you learn a tax trick to save 2.5%, and we get to do it for, you went from 10 million this year to 13 million to 19 million to 26 million.
Yeah.
You're always saving that a couple percent because you learned that trick.
Yeah.
And so that's why we've had so much success. This is our 6th year. I've been doing this for 6 years now, this mastermind. And so to me, I have 4 masterminds now. I have a 20K, another 20K, a 50K. And I have different price points of masterminds for different types of people, different types of where they're at in their life or what niche they're in. Yeah. Masterminds literally changed it forever because it's the people in the room. It's also the people that are not in the room.
Yeah.
And you just know the people in the room are specifically in your category. And so when you're interacting with them, it's mind blowing.
I've never lost money, I guess, in a sense, when it comes to investing into the right coaching,
Yeah.
into the right room, to the right
Well,
mastermind.
for sure, coach it. And that probably for 6 hours.
And what's crazy is like, I feel like prior to getting into some of the circles now that I'm in Miami, getting around you, Eric, and like just having my mind expanded, I thought I spent a lot of money on coaching. And now it's like, I remember the first time I heard about the 100 million mastermind was with, I believe, Cody's Ferber. And
Your time.
yeah. So we did the podcast with Roger, and he was like, I spent 100,000 just to get in this room. And I'm like, feel like I was, 100,000 one room. It's like, I felt like spent 100,000 over getting into 5, 6, 7 was just, but like it just goes to show the value and the power of the individuals in that room, and also the levels too, because it wasn't discouraging. It was encouraging. I was like, what do I need to do differently in my business so I can get there sooner? Or is there a patience game of they did the business things to just grow?
That's also why I do free events.
Yeah.
It's not like, gambling the 100,000 nets.
Yeah.
For a decade, I did free events.
56.
And I still throw free events.
Yeah.
Right now, literally tomorrow, like I still throw free events.
Yeah.
Because it's important. I want people to be able to come to a free event like Elevator Night. Aspire tours, $50, $100, $200. You have to learn from A-Rod, Gary B. House, people like. So I have all different levels of pricing of events, mastermind, etc. The 20K version is called 20 mil mastermind. It allows people to get into a group, and then as they grow through their journey, what they can afford to, or their company's big enough, they can jump up to the 100 mil.
Yeah.
I'm doing that because I will do masterminds for decades.
Yeah.
I could be 84 years old in a wheelchair if I need to, because I love being in the rooms of people. I'm learning too.
Yeah.
And if I can just make or save 1% on something because I learned from that guy review, etc., that changed my life too. And so I'm always curating these rooms year after year after year after year.
Do you think you'd ever create this maybe a wild idea, like the billionaire pastor?
Well, Tony Robbins has one with Dean Garcia.
Okay.
It's $250,000 per person.
Yeah.
We were just there last week with them.
Yeah.
20% of the room is my members, because it's like,
Yeah.
there's levels to the game, and then there's Tony Robbins, Dean Graciosi, like these are legends. And so I've thought about doing like $1 million one just because it's a fun concept.
Yeah.
And if you got the Tony Robbins level characters and the Andy Fusano, like you got the $1 billion guys in the room, people would definitely pay for it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So I definitely thought about it, but I wouldn't do it anytime soon.
Yeah.
No, a lot of moving parts already.
Yeah. That's super sick. And I am so excited about I know in my mind, it's like I gotta get to this 100 million mastermind. And we're doing this podcast, all I'm thinking is like, how do I get this? How do I get this money in this room? Because I know the value of a relationship is worth it's probably, honestly, I bet from testimonials that you have, the 100,000 is literally a stupid fraction in comparison to what people have gotten out of getting in that room. Like,
For sure.
what are some of the best testimonials you've gotten from maybe just even all of your events?
Look at Sean Kelly. He was like one of our first members in 2000. He was a baby. He was like, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he wasn't at the $5 million mark. We let him in because he was such a hustler.
Yeah.
And he was going to provide value. He was going to make jerseys for everyone. That's back when he was doing jerseys, like DMing people to make them jerseys, like rappers and athletes. And look at him now. He's always freaking interviewing household name celebrities. He's doing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of different interactions. He's filling up rooms himself, left and right. All the reason he's not coming to Elevator, right? He's got his own sold out event in Southwest. Like,
wow.
Like watching what he's grown into. We had a kid named Frankie Curaz, who was I think he was at 5 or 6 million at the time. Now he does like 18 to 25 million. And he just networked his way through, met a lot of interesting people, built up a big warehouse selling clothing, and he just crushes it. He'll do like 2 million on this brand, 5 million on that brand, 8 million on that brand, like bam, 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 because he just knows the clothing game inside out. But when he first came there, he was just a bright-eyed kid wanting to network, and he did it.
Yeah.
And so like the amount of stories that have come from, and then the partnerships I've seen come out of it is wild, right? People go off and start their own masterminds. They start their own tours, their own events.
Yeah.
They do big real estate deals together. They're loaning each other money. They're buying companies from each other. Like so much action happens because of the room.
Like, wow. Well, what are you most excited about for this year?
I mean, my most fun to me is the world's largest toy drive.
Yeah.
Right? This will be our 12th year, which is also crazy to say. Uh, we just got another Guinness Book World Record, and so I'm going to post about that this week. For most toys in 1 hour, which no one can beat. It was impossible. We like when you see the video, it'll blow your mind.
It sounds like a Mr. Beast type of video.
It was insane. Shannon, my best friend, she had touched 8,300 toys in 1 hour.
Wow.
With what I admit she could have. We didn't know what the numbers were going to be. She ended up doing 8,300. Anyways, and so the largest toy drive is my passion, and I'm addicted to it. I fly around 10 or 11 cities per year in a 17-day period that do the toy drive. I have a big event coming out May 17th called Man in the Arena Tour with Garrett Wright. Obviously, Garrett's here on time. And so I'd had this idea for years called Man in the Arena Tour. And I wanted to make this event. I thought about it. And then I was sitting on Garrett's couch. And I was like, you're the one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to show you something.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. I had this in my notes for years. And I just started explaining to him and Danielle, I'm like, I like this concept of the famous quote, Man in the Arena. And I just got lucky. I caught him at the perfect time because he's a guy that's coached 70,000 men. And he's known, for 14 years in the game of teaching men to help with their family, faith, fitness, and everything. And so when I brought up the concept of doing an all men's event, he took it to a whole nother level. Like, he is the most efficient person I've ever met. Every morning I wake up, there's like, I just filmed 13 new videos. I wrote all this copy. My team did this, my team did this, my team did he's on it every morning. And so we're filling up the Maverick Center. So I did two there with the muscle called Little Arena it's called Maverick Center Arena.
Yeah.
And so we're doing the same venue May 17th. We'll do it out here in Miami in September, October, and then we'll do the Phoenix in December. So Man in the Arena Tour, I'm very excited about because watching Garrett work has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like his efficiency is on a whole other level.
Yeah. We did a podcast. Drew looked it up. He's insane. Super, super solid communicator and just a visionary and everything like that. It was one of the best pods we've done. What would you say your why is? And what drives you?
So my why is, I want to save the world thing.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to save the world, but I have an efficient way to actually do it, not just say it.
Yeah.
Humans need food, water, and shelter, right? There's things that we want, like love and other things that would make us better. But to actually survive in the middle of nowhere, you need food, water, shelter. All three of those things are fixable. When you just think about it, why are there homeless people in America? That's insane. Right outside this building, there's a bunch of warehouses we could figure out how to adjust to make better versions of homeless shelters. Why is anyone hungry in America when we're giving away or throwing away billions of dollars of food every single month? Not every single year, every single month. When you think about Costco or Roush, some Bonds, now we're some 7-Eleven, and all the chain stores and all the restaurant chains, etc., that are just throwing away food. That is inefficient because the amount of homeless people and the amount of hungry people is a finite number that's fixable, especially in comparison to how much food you can give away. And water, come on, that is so solvable, especially in America. And so I just look at these main things that humans need and that they are fixable. And so that's why my passion is I want to prove how efficient I am at charity. World's largest toy drive. Backpacks for the homeless. I give away 6 million items to the homeless. I've done that for 16 years now. I want to show that I can execute on charities over and over and over and over and over. Not only do I not ask for anything or take anything, I'm putting in numerous dollars as those. I do one-on-one coaching for $100,000. You don't wire it to me. You get to pick one of my free charities and you wire directly to the charity. So you want to do $100K first? Great. Wire it to one of these 3 charities. But it allows me to raise a couple $1 million a year for charity through coaching. And then separately, I donate on top of that. And so I want to show my efficiencies in charity. I want to show my efficiencies that I will actually execute. I will put up the money for it. I don't want anything out of it. I want to inspire people to do it. And I make different variations. I do one called 2 years too long. It means your clothes are in your closet for more than 2 years. Give them away. Well, don't argue with me. You're going to wear it 2 or 3 because you're not. And I made this video. Boom. 4,000 people started doing it. They started giving away clothes. And all of a sudden, that's hundreds of thousands of binders of clothing. That's not like a charity. I didn't raise money for it. You don't have to put up any money. It's just, if you haven't worn some clothing, give it away. And then thousands duplicate it. We do a tipping dinner with Jimmy Rex and I started back in 2020. And now thousands and thousands of people are doing tipping dinners. That's not a charity that we raise money for. It's just getting people to get together with 10, 15 friends and donate $100 each to surprise the waiter or waitress in the kitchen staff. I'm causing these different movements of charities to just show my efficiency so that when it's time to say, hey, Andy Priscilla, Ed Milet, hey, billionaires and zillionaires, etc., let's go do this thing. Let's build free grocery stores around the country. Or let's do this thing where we're going to buy warehouses and change them into homeless shelters. They will believe in my efficiency. They will know that I will actually execute it. I'm not just talk about it. And it's not going to take 6 years. It'll take 6 months.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, as we start to transition and wrap up here, the next thing I wanted to bring up is let's talk about Operation Blackside.
Yeah.
So I saw that on your story the other day.
Yeah.
And where did you get the idea of becoming I don't know, like a hero weapon, being self-defense and all of that?
So Pedro's Coolion has been throwing what they call projects.
Okay.
It's very, very intense because he's ready to go to war for 75 hours. And it's a very intense thing that is overwhelming or intimidating that for women or business executives, they're not going to go to that because they're either not allowed to or they're not fit enough to go through the process.
Yeah.
So I want to create one called Operation Blackside, which allows for people for women and executives to go through a full-fledged military training, fight training from Navy SEALs, UFC fighters, Green Berets, police officers. So you're going to get the highest level, like literally MMA champions, kickboxing champions, fight champions are going to teach you how to shoot, fight, and escape. But in an environment where you're not going to get hurt. Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get trained by the highest level, you're not going to get hurt. So at my ranch, we built out an entire shoot house, training area, obstacle courses, a fighting room, etc. for those trainings. And so we've been doing that we do it every single month. And I run through it. Like that's the video you just saw. Yeah, I went through because we do it every 3 or 4 weeks. And I still get excited to go through. I still want to learn because again, that extra second that you save on when you learn about shooting a gun, or that extra move you learn on how to fight or block or deal with a knife situation. Not only about actually fighting back, how to escape a situation. There's been over 100 of my friends have been robbed in LA last year. It's more than that. I don't even know the number anymore.
Yeah.
Like robbed, or passed away, or in the hospital, or shot over their watches. I haven't worn a watch in a year now.
Yeah.
Because of how many freaking robberies happen in LA. And so understanding how to either escape, how to defuse, anything between, not just like be a cowboy, will fight off 2 or 3 robbers. I'm not saying that that's going to happen all the time, but understanding how to diffuse a situation is very important. So that difference of 1 second comes from expertise. That comes from practice. And so Operation Blackside is designed for people to learn how to shoot, fire, and escape.
Can people get access to doing Operation Blackside?
Yeah, they can go. It's every month. There, they just go to operationblackside.com.
Okay.
But it's every month. It's a 3-day experience, Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can come anytime.
Before we hit our last piece here, if you were to give advice, I just started my home insurance business. Been in life insurance sales since I was 18 years old, and I've grossed a lot of money, and I have spent all money. You know what I mean? All money came in, all money come out, everything like that. But like, what would be your advice to young guys, girls in sales? What would be your general advice?
As they're making more and more money, keep your overhead the same. I'm not saying to not go get a car or not get one watch or not get some pose or not get some things that you want to get, because having a material goal is cool to a point. But don't buy 3 watches and don't buy 3 cars and don't buy 3 bottles of like the things that you spend money on. You don't need a 3-bedroom when you live by yourself in your borough or you live by yourself in your grand tank. You don't need 3 bedrooms. You're like, oh yeah, my friend's going to stay in those rooms. No, they're not. They're not staying over. Getting a 2-bedroom, which you're like, who cares about 2-bedroom versus 3-bedroom? Well, that $1,300 difference is $15,000 a year. And for over the course of 3 years, you just lit $50,000 on fire for a 3rd bedroom that no one's ever been in.
Yeah.
Well, that $50,000, imagine what you could do if you were putting the money into yourself, putting money in your business, putting the money to S&P 500, investing it. That $50,000 would be $100K in Bitcoin or $100K S&P 500 or $100K something else, $100K of real estate. And so, or $50K if you leverage real estate, is $250,000 real estate, right? And so the thing is, as you're making more and more money in sales, if you can keep your overhead the same, that's how you get rich.
Yeah.
Not going from a 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom to a 5-bedroom house. Hey, let's get all the boys together and get 2 Lambos and rent this and buy 4 watches. We watched it over and over and over. is that people start making more and more money and they're wondering why they have the same exact money in the bank account.
Yeah.
It's because you increase your overhead.
That's fire. So the last thing I wanted to wrap up here is with the baby girl boss.
Yeah.
So that's your daughter. It's Ariana.
Yeah.
Okay. How old is she?
7 months.
7 months old. So congrats to you.
Flying over right now.
So she's flying over?
She comes all like this.
Let's go. Okay. So, when did you get the idea and start to kind of create this vision? When did you lock in baby girl boss? I got here. So 2 weeks old. She was on IG, I think.
Negative 4 months old is when she went out.
Okay. Let's go.
She was negative 4 months. I just didn't have a picture of her.
Okay.
I thought about putting in the sonogram. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just knew that a lot of people are going to ask me, are you going to slow down your travel? And it's hard for them to hear. The answer is no. I want to work. I'm addicted to working. I want to build events. I want to build businesses. I want to throw 6 events in Miami. The difference is I'll fly her in, or I'll have her come with me, or I'll have her drive with me. If I go somewhere for 1 or 2 days, she's not going to go. But if it's 3 or 4 days or more, then she'll come, right, with Erica. The difference is I wanted to incorporate her in my world. And so by creating the baby girl boss concept, I put her on podcasts, I put her on stages, I bring her to meetings, I bring her to events, that she could be immersed into it. If at some point she's like, Dad, I don't want to go to that stuff, and she wants to go to soccer ballerina, no problem. She doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. But along the way, she can't say no. I'm going to bring her with me everywhere so she can have fun and have a bunch of content that she can look back on of her being on podcasts and stages and events, etc. And I love the concept of having her with me because my goal is for her to be able to inspire girls to get into podcast, business, speaking, events, etc. I want more and more and more of that to happen because women are amazing.
Yeah.
And they're running our households and they're running the checkbooks of the house and they're right. Like people don't realize that they are the economy. For the most part, they're spending and controlling so much money in our society. I want them around money. It's the whole reason for the Money Mondays podcast. I want them to learn about money, talk about money, and remove the fear of women talk about money. And so I'm utilizing her as the catalyst that, kind of like Simba.
Yeah.
I'm holding her up in the air and have fun with it. For girls to see her out there and also to make it, disarming to want to come to my business events, my entrepreneur events, my podcast. She's a fun tool for that because it's more lighthearted. It's not like, let's do my business all day and make it overwhelming. I'm bringing, a little Dlabik into the mix.
Yeah. Fire. Absolute fire. Thank you for your time today. Where would you like to direct the audience today?
Everything on my social, just at Dan Fleyshman. Every single platform is the same. And then the bios, you can see everything. And also for you guys that are watching, for your own social media platforms, it should be your own same screen name across every platform, the same bio across every platform. If you have a red and black sweater in one picture, use the same picture in every bio. You need to make it the same on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., so people can recognize you easy.
I have one little social media question because we didn't get to it, but what's more powerful, collaborations or ad dollars?
My answer would be all of the above. When it comes to social media growth, you need what's called omnipresence.
Yeah.
You need to pop up on the ad, pop up on the podcast, pop up on my Twitter feed, pop up on Facebook and Instagram. I need to see you with Eric Spofford. I need to see you with Tristan. I need to see you pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
That's omnipresence. And so there's no one thing to do on social. It's to do all of it, a little bit of all of it.
Fire. Absolute fire. Thank you so much, Dan.
Got it.
Let's go.